Hello. Hello and welcome to this Spinster's Library spontaneous live stream.
Alive from Bangor, it's Saturday night.
I don't get it.
It's Saturday Night Live says that, but from New York.
Okay. Yep. Great reference, Bill.
Yep.
I'm Claudia and I'm the spinster, although not a real spinster, because with me I have my husband Bill, aka the most requested person on this YouTube channel. So I hope you're happy now. We basically just decided to get together and do a little live Q&A. So if you have any questions or anything you want us to chat about, then go post them in the chat. If no one's watching and if there aren't any questions, then we'll just probably chat about what's kind of bothering us at the moment.
I'm not allowed in the first minute.
Oh, no, I just said you shouldn't swear right away.
Yep.
So we are both at home. I mean, obviously we're at home. It's Saturday night. Where are nerds like us going to be on a Saturday night? But we're generally speaking spending time at home at the moment because I came back from Germany yesterday after spending 3 weeks in Germany, and I came back with a cough. Bill already had a cough, so we decided, since we're both coughing, we don't want to risk spreading.
Coughing.
Yes, we don't want to risk spreading the new coronavirus to other people. So we're going to stay at home for the upcoming week. Is this the microphone level?
Yeah.
Is that quite low?
I don't know.
What? How can I? What? Can I change this?
I don't know.
Can people actually hear us? I know there's people watching. There's 18 of you apparently.
Oh, it's Organ. Organ says, let me know if you guys need any food or anything that we'll buy and put them in the front of your house.
Oh, Organ, that's so lovely. Like, really nice of you. I think we're okay. We've got a ton of food in the house. Plus, we've ordered some from Tesco. So we should be fine for food. But
Bring bread.
Don't bring bread. I'm making bread.
It's going to be bad.
It's not going to be bad. It's going to be amazing.
Okay. I've stockpiled 48 Cadbury's cream eggs.
For those of you outside of the UK who don't know what cream eggs are, they are the worst egg-shaped object humanity has ever seen, including testicles. Go on.
Those weird little makeup sponges.
No, they're fine. They're great. They're an amazing invention.
Chat, what is egg-shaped and terrible?
Marianne says, I hope you're both okay. Yes, we are both fine. We're just coughing. That's all. I think we've both probably just caught a cold.
Well, not actually. I don't think there's a lot of coronavirus going on in this house. I think that, but I think that you should have always earthquake.
Yeah, stop doing that, Bill. I've got tea on the table.
What you should do is staythefuckhome.com.
That you're like waiting to say that.
Yep, it's a website, staythefuckhome.com. So as Louisa says, stay safe, all of you, wherever you are. A very good way to do that is to staythefuckhome.com. Basically, it's the best way to just reduce the spread of the virus is to effectively self-isolate yourself as much as is reasonable, whether you think it's kind of medically necessary for you personally or not. The idea is just to reduce how quickly it spreads, so fewer people will die by virtue of a lot of people who are able to staying home as much as they can. Doesn't mean quit your job.
No, I mean, you are.
I'm not going to work though.
You are in the privileged position of being able to work from home.
I'm really lucky. I have I don't think I'm sort of like 100% like completely all the time quarantining myself forever, or until all of this blows over. If you can do that and you're happy to do that, cool. I'm not particularly, but I am doing it mostly. So I'm cutting out things that are, to my mind, not super necessary, like work. So I can go to the super necessary things like children's card games.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I stay at home most of the time anyway. There's a lovely German word for it called Stubenhocker, which literally means one who sits in the home. And that's me. Also, hello, especially to Pauline from Dancing Lawn. She is in the chat, and I actually met her while I was in Germany, and it was kind of touch and go whether we were actually going to meet or not, because in the southwest of Germany, where she lives and where my parents live, there has been quite a large outbreak of this virus. So we decided in the end to meet up, but we were very, very careful and washing our hands and not hugging, which was difficult. But we managed, and we recorded a couple of videos together. So if you watch Pauline at Dancing Lawn and you subscribe to her, then you'll see one video coming up soon, as soon as I've sent her the raw file, which I haven't yet.
Good at YouTube.
There's a surprising, from my perspective, surprising support for Cadbury cream eggs in the chat. You're all wrong.
That's correct. Cream eggs is best eggs.
They're like, the chocolate is bad already, right? And then the filling is just gross. It's like melted marshmallows with extra sugar.
Stop, I can only get soy wrecked.
Okay.
You invited me here. Anything that happens is your fault.
I know. I did ask you to do this this live stream with me. Does anyone have any questions? Ideally, like,
how long are these things?
Well, I was thinking.
That's my question.
30 minutes, 45 max.
Okay, if I don't want to stay here for the whole 30 minutes, can I just completely derail it and make it awful?
No.
Let's talk about geishas.
Let's not.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, are other people staying at home as well? Like, how is this outbreak being dealt with in your country?
Do you have enough food for your cats? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Organ, we do.
Thank you, Organ.
We stockpile for the cats far better than we stockpile for ourselves.
Yeah, we always have a ton of like wet food cans, pouches. We've got dry food. We've got like a gigantic box of Dreamies. So the cats are going to be totally fine.
Yeah. Marianne is a functioning agoraphobic, which means you have lessons to teach us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Any advice for...
You are the isolation sage.
Hello to Cappuccino Crafts.
In America, people are freaking out and buying toilet paper. Lol, yes.
Oh, not just in America.
Can't buy that here.
You can't buy it in Germany either.
Fortunately, we've got houseplants. Do the job, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're all right.
It's basically a whole roll. Yeah.
Yeah, all right for a bit.
Yeah, the toilet paper thing is weird, isn't it? Because it wouldn't be on my... Like, it wouldn't be top of my priority list. This is an air plant bill. Like, I kind of understand the food, but then also the food that people pick is weird. Like, the pasta shells are empty, but there's usually still enough rice. One of them is more calorie dense than the other. Mm-hmm. Organ says in Bangor as well, no toilet paper. Yeah. I hope that they start shipping toilet paper again, because otherwise it is going to start becoming a problem.
They are. It's pretty well constant. But you go to the supermarket and you see the empty shelves. As I saw Organ's Facebook posted some empty shelves.
Oh, really?
From a supermarket, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That is late stage capitalism under the slightest bit of pressure.
I know.
It's nothing to do with socialism. If we were socialist, you'd have your toilet paper.
Yeah, cool.
Distributed by need.
Bookseller says, if one has running water, one just needs a washcloth if they don't have a bidet. Right, so bidets. Have you ever used a bidet? No, because you're British, right? Bidets are amazing, and they're in every bathroom in Italy. But the Germans and the British as well have never even like heard of them, and they find them weird. But honestly, bidets would solve all of our problems.
Yeah.
Marian says her Aldi has no more paper products. Yeah, I think we noticed the kitchen towel getting low as well. And please don't use kitchen towel as toilet paper.
And Tesco are rationing how many a customer could buy, which I think is probably correct.
Yeah.
Because capitalism is bad. I'm not even going to say people are bad. People will naturally look out for themselves. That's what they're doing. Socialism forces them to look out for each other a bit more. What else is happening? Book Zealots is my spirit animal.
Why? What are they saying?
Just agreeing with me about the air plant.
It's not an aloe vera. It's a tillandsia, actually.
Yeah, but don't stick it up your bum. That is correct.
That is, yeah, fair enough. Also because it was very expensive.
Very pointy.
Yeah, I think all the supermarkets are going to start doing the kind of toilet paper rationing. I was kind of reassured when I came back here yesterday, and I just had a look in the kitchen cupboard, and basically I have enough food for the apocalypse. And that's just nice to know. But it also means that in the future I should maybe change my shopping habits so I don't quite have these huge amounts of like random stuff like rice pudding and dried chickpeas and things like that. But we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I found some spam. Organ wants to know if anyone checked your temperature at the airport.
No. No. The only thing that happened
your country, Organ.
Was yeah. The only thing that happened was that I had a bit more difficulty getting through passport control, on both sides, because I have Italian citizenship, so my passport is Italian. And in the UK when I arrived, they actually took a little picture of me, just in case I commit a crime. I guess they know what I look like.
No, because you're pretty.
And they asked a lot of questions about where I'd been, and they needed an extra form of ID as well, which I've never had to provide at an airport yet. But I managed to get in okay. So
yeah, no, I just thought you had a nice face.
Yeah.
So I want to know what everyone in the chat is doing about their virus.
About their virus.
About everyone's virus. It's all our virus.
Yeah.
This is a communist virus.
It is a communist virus. Okay.
Our virus. We've talked a lot about what we're doing. How is it? How are you finding like the UK compared to Germany?
Well, in Germany. Certainly, a lot more is being done. Schools in most states of Germany are closing from next week. And there have already been talks about border control, especially on the border between Germany and France, which is, I think, difficult to enforce, especially since Germany as a federal state has a lot of different politics and a lot of different governments trying to figure out what to do in these situations. So it's not a unified response like you see in most countries, but certainly more is being done there than in the UK, where Boris Johnson's pretty much suggested to wash your hands and sing the national anthem. To be fair, the Queen is in an at-risk category.
Change my work schedule to work from home. Yes, Stephanie, correct. Very good.
Yeah.
I'm shocked actually that I work in IT and I could work from home and it makes absolutely no difference. So could everyone else on my team, and the boss isn't making us do it, and the boss isn't really letting us do it. I'm doing it. What's he going to do? He's not going to stop me. But it's weird that they're not even encouraging it.
It is, yeah, but because you think of IT as quite a dynamic industry, something that can change very quickly there, but evidently not. Organ says all of her concerts and conferences are cancelled. This is really terrible, Organ. Organ is an opera singer, so she lives from events and traveling around and giving performances. And I think the UK is going to ban mass gatherings from the week after next. Is that right? Or from next weekend?
Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
No.
So yeah, Organ, that's kind of crappy. Do you get compensated for the performances you've lost? Like, how does that work?
Come sing opera at us sometime.
Book Salads asks if it's true that all of Italy is in total lockdown. Yes.
Yeah,
so I have been speaking to my family in Italy. I have one aunt who is in Milan, which is one of the heavier affected areas in the north of Italy. And that's been in lockdown for a while now. She says that you pretty much are forced to stay inside of your home. Police are patrolling the streets, and if you are seen outside, they will ask you what you are doing. And pretty much the only justification for being outside is if you have a doctor's appointment or if you are going to the supermarkets. And in the supermarkets, they only let one person in at a time to get their necessities and then go back home. My family in South Italy are still a little bit more chilled about this, but they also are confined to their homes very much. All businesses have closed except for the necessities, which is especially hard for my family, who are pretty much all shop owners and business people. They all run their own business. So they are really losing out because they can't work, they can't sell stuff, they're not allowed to open their shops at the moment. It's really quite a tragic situation in Italy. And I have no idea how a country with an already fragile economy that is heavily based on tourism is ever going to recover from this. There's been some more comments. Do you want to read one, Bill?
Yeah, so Emma Brown, so yeah, carrying on as normal with more hand washing in East Midlands. Don't know who has it. In the lucky position that all my family in good health, so not too worried. Well done. But
that's good. But yeah,
a lot of people in the East Midlands are not in good health potentially and could be at risk. So just continue to be careful and think of everyone around you as much as you reasonably can, of course. Cappuccino Craft, staying home except for grocery shopping on mandatory appointments, basically self-isolating. Yeah, that's pretty much where we are. We've had a go at ordering our groceries online, but ultimately we can go out. So I think there weren't any delivery slots available is the real reason. No. But on reflecting on it later, it's actually quite good that we didn't get a delivery to the house. Use click and collect or something like that if you're able to. So it leaves the delivery slots free for people who really aren't.
Yeah, and we're also thinking that once we come out of our isolation, that we'll try and help our neighbours get stuff for them, because we live in a street with actually quite a lot of elderly residents, and it'd be a really easy thing for us to do to just pop to the shops for them.
And Cappuccino Craft cares for elderly parents, and all the best to you.
Right, I think she's based in the US. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So I hope that your family is safe. I'm kind of really worried about how America is handling this health crisis, because the health system there is fragile anyway, and capitalist, you have to pay for healthcare. So I just hope that something changes and everyone there is going to be as safe as possible.
Yeah, the UK is not going to fare a great deal better though, just because it's universal healthcare.
It's overstretched.
It's overstretched after 10 years of austerity. It doesn't really matter what the UK government does at this point. They've wrecked the health service over the last 10 years. So Organ not getting all the money back.
Yeah,
I'll get a refund for the visa fee.
Oh, that seems like something they should be doing, right?
Yeah, well, why?
Because the visa fees are going to government. It's not like a private company saying you're not getting your money back.
Yeah, but it would be the good and kind thing to do. But governments who want money will keep it.
That is true. Ange with an E says, self-isolating as much as possible. My daughter's school trip to Belgium and France postponed. That's interesting. And where are you based? So where would your daughters be going from to Belgium and France?
It's a national emergency.
And booksellers heard that people in China are starting to go back to work. So that is a positive if it's true. Yeah, I think I've read that as well. It seems like most infections in China are actually from people moving into the country with the virus. So. We've been listed as national emergency, but I think something hinky. Is that what does that mean?
Weird.
Okay.
On the shadows.
In the shadow, we don't. If you were in America, yeah, I wouldn't have a lot of trust in the government if I was in America.
So I think it's really sweet, all of you sharing your experiences with us like that. I'm very grateful. It's very nice that we can have this, little back and forth here. It's lovely, and I think it's just a good example of how, as a species, we're sort of all in this together, and it's a good chance to kind of look out, realize that we've got to look out for one another a little bit more, and this is a little microcosm of that when we're sharing our experiences and our thoughts. Isn't it lovely?
No,
because you've got to look after.
No, this does not need to be happening for us to realize that we can't be dicks to each other.
Also true, but take what you can get.
Well,
this is what we've got.
It's not like
we're going to pull together.
It's not like this is the first time, even like in the last century, that humanity's had to face something like this. And has it helped? Do you really think that people now are kinder to each other than they were before the Black Death in the Middle Ages? Like,
I think yes.
I don't think that's true.
I think yes.
I think it's nice for us to use the hashtags and like be kind to each other and
I
whatever.
think they had many hashtags after the Black Death before.
But I think people are going to go back to being exactly the way they were before.
The people in here aren't. We've got like us and our 32 viewers who are committing here and now to loving everyone all the time forever.
You heard it first.
That's what this is about.
Melissa is in upstate New York and all schools are shut down. No toilet paper, hand sanitizer. There's only a couple of cases in our area, so we're basically just waiting for it to hit us. Yeah, I think in most cases where it's like, oh, there's only a few numbers, the number of actual cases is probably a lot higher because there has been so little testing done pretty much across the board.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know where the numbers are coming from, really. Like I don't know if it is like if the number of all the deaths. Obviously, when people die, it's kind of a big deal. We know why they died. Mm-hmm. That's recorded. But if they're not testing many people and someone just turns up and dies from it without being diagnosed with it, they count as a statistic for the death.
Yeah, so they do, at least in Germany, they do post-mortem testing as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what it's like here, but in the UK, the last official advice has pretty much been that you don't get tested, even if you're sure that you have the virus, as long as it isn't requiring urgent treatment in hospital, then they'll test you. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people who have the virus and are just kind of fine and are staying at home, they are not being included in these statistics. Mm-hmm. But Bookzealous agrees with me that people probably have always been the same level of horrible to each other throughout history.
No, that's it. No, in agreement with me that they weren't nicer before. I can't remember what we're talking about, actually.
I don't know, yeah.
But yeah, but I don't know that people were necessarily nicer during the plague, but we're finding out now with how much toilet paper there isn't. No, I mean, that's not necessarily fair.
I bet they didn't have any toilet paper during the plague.
No. It was all panic.
They were all using air plants.
Yeah. No, it's panic buying begets panic buying, and people see that there is a scarcity, and that makes them buy more.
I thought you'd said panic buying baguettes.
We're going to use those as toilet paper.
So Organ asked about herd immunity and Bookzealous asked about how are they testing. This is why we should say that we are like not medical professionals.
I work in a hospital.
I'm getting a doctorate in musicology.
I work in a hospital in IT.
In IT, yeah.
The testing's all recently stopped. They did have some test centres, but they have decided that's too expensive, probably, and decided to stop doing those.
They're swab tests, though. Yeah.
Herd immunity. Now, I have done reading. I've been on the internet, which makes me
an expert.
Mm. So herd immunity only happens when you get to about it's between 60 and 80% infection. So herd immunity, that's a fancy way of saying 60 to 80% of the country gets infected.
Yeah.
Good luck. Hope you're okay. We don't and it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily follow that herd immunity would just prevent the virus from spreading.
It does work like that with some viruses, but I'm not sure how advanced the research is to know whether this is one of them or not.
I don't think we know. The panic on the toilet. I heard someone say the panic on the toilet paper was because of Venezuela. Now, one of my colleagues had a theory.
What? What's that about?
I don't know, but one of my colleagues had a theory that no, that makes sense because there was the crazy thing in Venezuela where everything went to shit. And
but what does that got to do with toilet paper?
No. But one of my colleagues had a theory. You'll have to explain that to us, Bookzealous. One of my colleagues had a theory that it is a foreign power that has come to the UK to buy all of the toilet paper to cause a mass panic, to destabilize us.
And I think if you were going to cause a mass panic in any country, toilet paper is a good thing to buy out. Other things for the British to go crazy over would be baked beans, Cadbury cream eggs, and tea.
That's the thing. It's a crazy conspiracy, but it would actually work. Like if Russia has seriously come in and bought all our toilet paper to destabilize our economy, like, well done.
Imagine, it's such a petty thing to do. Like, imagine you just want to like
No,
piss
it's
off your
completely
neighbors.
functional. It does exactly what Putin wants. If he comes around and himself goes to all the Tesco's in the country, buys all of the toilet paper, builds himself a fortress, that works in his favour. The American media had a big deal about Venezuela not having any toilet paper.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, isn't Venezuela kind of Donald Trump's favourite?
I think it is like one of the first things to go, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just bring my tea home from work. Fair play.
Oh, that's.
I've left my coffee in the office. So,
oh, have you?
Yeah, but I've also stockpiled coffee anyway, just because I naturally.
That's what you do, isn't it?
What is Cadbury cream egg? Oh, organ.
Organ, please don't.
Organ, come over.
You'll hate it.
Not now, because they're not.
But yeah, actually, organ.
Yet, but...
Organ, after we've done the 7 days isolation, you can come over and eat one of Bill's 48 cream eggs that he's bought.
I'll save you one. Half of one.
Stephanie has plenty of books to read for staying home. What are you doing to fight boredom?
This.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, I only arrived yesterday, so I haven't been stuck home at all yet. But I present to you my TBR. I also have plenty of books to go through, and I'll probably do a bit of filming and stuff.
Oh, not me. It's behind me.
You're not the TBR.
Right. You read me like a book.
And I mean, you are still going to be at work. You're just working from home.
Yes, Organ's going to try one of my 48 eggs.
You'll hate it, Organ. I really think.
I know, but we'll have a nice time. That's the main thing.
Okay.
But I know. I think they're nice. They're good if you like sugar and you don't value your teeth. Yes, books to read is good. I've been spending a little more than I otherwise would on video games and stuff.
And you can finally finish George Orwell's 1984.
I read a little bit of that.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I'm still reading it, just very, very slowly.
Okay, that's fine.
Incredibly slowly.
That's fine. I've got loads of books, like
we'll be dead before I finish.
Actual loads of books, and I haven't really sunk my teeth into a book because I keep starting books and then putting them away. But tomorrow I'm definitely going to spend some time, a few hours maybe, just reading and enjoying a book.
I've just finished Black Mesa.
Which is a video game, not a book.
I'm playing Metro 2033 Redux on the Switch and Celeste.
Knitting and TV, yes. Oh, I should show you. Hang on, I've actually got... Over here. I'm also knitting. I am also knitting. So I'll probably find an audiobook or... I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately and do some knitting as well tomorrow.
Yes, Angie Angie said bought her husband's 1984. Yes, he should read it. It is very good, or at least the first bit is very good.
I think all of it is very good. And I think the ending, no spoilers in the chat because he hasn't got there yet.
I haven't got there yet.
Is seriously... I don't want to use a word like traumatizing because I don't want to, diminish actual traumas.
Do I want to read this?
But it's hard. It's a hard ending. It's a rough
like hard
ending.
Things.
It's going to stick with you, and it's going to cause you at least one sleepless night. But you should definitely read it.
Not selling it.
Cappuccino Craft says, "Ooh, I'm doing surrounded color work too." It is above my skill level. I'm getting through this incredibly slowly, but it's fun to learn something new. The next thing I have to do is undo the past 2 rows because I made a mistake somewhere. So fun times. Shall we leave it at that? Shall we say goodbye, or is there anything else you want us to talk about?
I just got Station 11, but may not be the best time to read.
Station 11, yeah, it's a dystopian novel that was talked about a lot, I think, a couple of years ago. Definitely one I want to read at some point. I'm the opposite. I'm properly in the mood for a big dystopian novel.
Metro 2033 was a book before it was a video game. The video game's based on the book.
Was it really?
And it is a dystopia. And
who wrote the book?
That is a really good question.
Okay. Well, I'll look into that. It'd be interesting.
I'm going to look into it now because I've got the world's knowledge in front of me. Like, how rubbish would this be if we didn't have the internet, like having to quarantine ourselves?
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. It's basically, I mean, like I said, I sit at home most of the day anyway. but it's fine because we are still connected. You know, if this was happening like 30, 40 years ago and all we had was the telephone to telephone each other, I think it would be a lot harder for us to stay at home and be alone. But we are all connected and that's all fine.
It's by Dmitry Glukovsky.
I have not heard of him.
No, he's Russian.
Okay.
Yeah, it was written in 2002. It's a story about how my life got turned upside down when there was a nuclear war, and it's set in 2033, which is 20 years after Moscow got annihilated by nuclear bombs, and everyone lives in the metro.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I might read that.
Yeah, I don't know if the book's good. I don't know if anyone wants to tell us if the book's good, but certainly the game's pretty cool.
Yeah, lots of people agreeing with me that it is much easier to be isolated with the internet, which it is. And if you are someone who hates the sun like I do, then it's totally fine to be inside for a week.
And props to Pornhub in Italy as well.
Yeah, so what did they do? Pornhub made...
Everyone in Italy gets free premium.
Everyone in Italy gets free premium porn.
Pornhub. So well done, Pornhub. That's good.
You know, everyone's doing their bit, I suppose.
Yeah. It's nice to see everybody coming together. Don't. You
said it, Bill.
Don't use a VPN to go into Italy to use Pornhub Premium, because that just seems skeevy.
It's like the porn equivalent of bulk buying all the toilet paper.
Yeah. There's not going to be less porn.
You know, the thing is, Bill,
it's not a finite resource.
When I do like videos on my channel, they're all very clean. They're all fairly child friendly. And then you do the live stream and just turns into filth.
Oh yeah, before we start, someone's left. But before we start, is any of you a child?
It's a bit. I think you'll find, according to my statistics, most of my viewers are women of my age. So welcome. Right, I think we should leave it there. And I might actually start a book now.
What are you going to write about?
Yes. Thank you for joining me. And if you're seeing this after the fact, I am sorry. And but comment down below what you're doing to self-isolate, and if you know how you're dealing with this very unusual situation in our world's history.
And let's all look after one another and be kind.
That too. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Finish this now. Bye.
Bye.